All right, y'all, I am very excited to be making this video because what I am about to share is an absolute game changer when it comes to trading. For me, once I started to apply what I am going to show you in this video, it took me to a place where I became confident that I could actually do this and do this consistently over time. And what I'm going to be talking about today is how to come to a blank chart and come up with a clearly defined trading plan. And what this does is it allows you to approach the charts without emotion, without feeling like you always have to be in a trade, without feeling like you're missing out. Because regardless of what happens, you have a plan for multiple future trades for multiple assets, and you have a clearly defined level that you're looking to take a trade at. You have clearly defined confirmations that will allow you to enter the trade. You have clearly defined exit strategies for the trade, etc., etc. Now, that's something I do want to drive home, guys. When it comes to trading, people are always trying to predict price and chase the price. People are like, Jason, where is Bitcoin going to go? The truth is, guys, it depends. Anybody who tells you that they know what price is going to do is either making a guess, and an educated guess, or they're straight up lying to you. Nobody knows what price is going to do. But what matters is that whatever price does, if it pumps or if it dumps, we have a plan to enter a trade. Now look at this man right here. He's very confident. Okay, a man does not walk around with his hand on his hip and that kind of smile, unless he has a clearly defined plan. He has a plan. He's not going to be caught off guard. All right? Now, this other man here, we can see, does not have a plan. We can tell by the body language. Okay? Arms crossed, showing he's timid. He does not have a plan. Okay? Maximum absorbency is not going to help liquidation. Now, I'm going to be going over these 4 steps. First, we're going to be talking about identifying macro and local levels. We're going to be talking about key levels that we're looking for trades. We're going to be talking about predetermining your confirmations and then having an entry and exit plan. So guys, make sure to like this video because this information is really going to help a lot of people. Make sure to share this video. By the way, guys, make sure to follow me on Twitter at Jason_Casper. Tomorrow is Cyber Monday, and we are going to be announcing something very special. I'm going to be giving away $1,000 of Bitcoin. I'm going to be partnering with somebody who I think you're really going to be excited about, and there's going to be a lot more, so make sure to follow me over there on Twitter. Also, guys, we still have the discount on the course in honor of Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Use the coupon code SBF to get 25% off both trading courses, both the intro course and the advanced footprint charts, market profile, and TPO course. All right, let's get into it, guys. When we are approaching the charts, we need to first identify the environment that we are looking to trade. If I was coming to a blank chart, what am I looking for? What is going to get me into a trade? How am I going to find a setup? What we have to do is identify the environment of the market. Okay, and what I mean by that is this. A lot of new traders, myself included, when we first get into this game, we are always looking to catch the big move, right? People are looking for patterns to try and long the breakout, short the breakdown, or try and find some kind of big pump to the upside. Maybe they can catch it, or catch some big dump to the downside. Now, if you are always looking for a big move, you are going to get absolutely wrecked. And here's why. Most assets, most of the time, are always going to be trading sideways. We can identify areas where price is always trading sideways. It's actually an anomaly that we get large moves, even in the bull market from last year and the year before. If we take a look, we can see that yes, there was a time for multiple weeks where crypto went straight up. Most people who got into crypto for the first time in this bull run got in January after the first big move to the upside, or got in around February, March after the second big move to the upside, and after that, price was simply just trading sideways for the entire time, right? We just put in sideways range after sideways range after sideways range. And even in the bear market, we were putting in sideways range after sideways range after sideways range after sideways range. And if we can learn to identify these sideways ranges, this is going to give us the environment in which we can look for a trade. Now, of course, the trend is very important on a high term time frame. Right now, we are in a downtrend. Nobody would deny that, but it doesn't mean that we should be looking to short the next big breakdown, because probabilities tell us that before we get the next huge move to the downside, we're going to put in a sideways range for a little while. Now, just go back in time a little bit and take a look at this last sideways range that we had. Now, this is the 12-hour time frame, guys, which means that these trades would have been very substantial trades, right? So look at this. From the time that we first established this high and first established this low, just simply blindly trading the highs and the lows of the sideways market would have given us one successful long, one successful short, two successful shorts, now we're up to two successful longs, and one losing short trade. Okay, that means 4 winning trades, and these are not small moves. 12% wins and 1 loss. That is an awesome win rate, as opposed to if we were always trying to long the breakout of resistance or short the breakdown of support. We would have had 1 losing long, 2 losing longs, 1 winning trade. That sucks, right? Compared to 12% moves, was this a 2-3% move? And if we're always trying to short the breakdown, we would have had 1 win and we would have had 2 losses. So we would have had 4 losses and 2 wins, as opposed to 4 wins and 1 loss. Do you see how simply just looking for these sideways ranges and identifying highs and lows is setting us up for success in the first place, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to start on the macro and then work our way down to the lower time frames. So I like to start on maybe the daily or the weekly time frame. If you're a swing trader, you're going to be using higher time frames. If you are a scalper or a day trader, you're going to be using lower time frames. But what you simply want to do is you want to mark areas of highs and lows. So right now, just by looking at this chart, I can see that this is a very important high. Why? Because it was a very important low once, twice, 3 times, and then when we lost it, we actually came back to retest it, forming this first high of this local range that we're in now, and then this low down here is going to be our low. So this is now the framework that I'm going to be working in when I come to a blank chart. I'm going to be dealing with this chunk of price action because I've identified this as a sideways range, and I know, just historically speaking and probability speaking, if I am looking to get into good trades, I'm going to be looking to take longs at the low and shorts at the high. It's the old advice that your grandfather gave you when you told him you were going to get into trading, right? He was worried about you. You dropped out of high school, you didn't go to college, you tried to make it as a musician, that didn't work out so well. Now you're living in your parents' garage with no job and no friends and no future, and now you're telling your grandfather, because he's asking you, Jason, what are you going to do with your life, my friend? You're like, Grandpa, you know what? You're nervous to tell him, I'm going to become a trader. You thought he was going to shoot you down and say, you can't be a trader, you idiot. But no, he was actually happy about it. He said, oh, you want to become an investor, eh, son? Well, let me tell you a thing or two. Let me learn you a thing or two about investing. So easy. Even a monkey could do it. All you got to do is buy low and sell high. I've been doing it for years, son, since the Great Depression. Right? And you know what? Your grandfather was right. Your grandfather was right. That's why I was able to give this trade setup in advance over in the VIP Discord, where I said if price comes back down to the low, which we put in this low right over here, I'm like, look, if price comes back down to this low, I'm going to be looking for a long trade. And I knew exactly what I was looking for. I knew exactly what confirmations I was looking for on Market Cypher B. We'll get into that later when we talk about confirmations. But my point is, I had a plan in advance. That's what I'm going over in this video, right? We're going to look to buy low and sell high. By the way, if you do want to get into the VIP Discord where we post the levels in advance and the trade setups and do multiple live streams a week, you can go to patreon.com/Jason Casper. So that is pretty much how you're going to identify the macro levels. And you can do this for multiple assets, right? And what this allows you to do is say, okay, well, let's say there's another level here as well, right? I would also mark this as a high. What this does is this allows me now to relax and not chase price and say, what is Bitcoin going to do, Jason? It depends. Okay, it depends. But I can be confident in my adult diapers. I can be confident in my adult diapers because I have a plan. I've got my hand on my hip. I've got smirk on my face. I've got maximum absorbency. I'm not going to get liquidated. And I can say, I'm just going to simply set an alert here, set an alert here, set an alert here, and then go about my day out on the homestead, taking care of my animals, growing my food, canning my food, freezing my food, preserving my food, right? Because it's all about self-sufficiency and all that kind of stuff. And then if I get an alert, then I can come assess the situation. I don't have to come to the charts like a madman every single day, flopping and groping, longing and shorting without a plan. I know I'm only going to be looking for a trade if we come to these levels, okay? Now, once we've identified the macro levels, we're going to take it one step further, and we're going to identify the local levels. Now, for this, I like to go down. For me, I love the 12-minute time frame. It's one of my favorite time frames to look at. Now, the other day in the VIP Discord, I gave this plan. I said, here are the local levels where I am looking for scalps. Okay, when I'm on a low time frame, this was the 3-minute time frame, and I'm, this is now beyond our higher term time frame trades, right? The trade that I'm currently in now, guys, is the long that I gave over here. Over here. Okay, but as far as scalp trades go, now this I would look at as a higher term time frame trade. I've been holding this trade for a number of days. But when I'm in a longer term position, I can still look for scalp trades. This is where we then, if you're a day trader or a scalper, we zoom in even more and identify even more local levels of support and resistance to find trades. And these were the levels that I gave in the VIP Discord on Friday. Okay, I said, look, if we come down to the low of this very local range, I will look for a long. If we come up to the high of this very high local range, I will look for a short. Now, here are the levels that I gave on the chart, and this is where price was when I gave the levels. So let's go back in time. Price had basically, I come to the chart, right? And price had given us a pretty clearly defined high and a pretty clearly defined low. And I had said, if we come down to the area between 16,384 and 16,423, I will look for a long from here, and if we come up into this area, I will look for a short up here. Now, if we go ahead and we close off the replay mode, we can see that price came down to our box perfectly for a bounce. Beautiful long trade. It came up for potentially 3 shorts from our short area, right? It's because I zoomed in on a local time frame and was gathering areas of support and resistance, looking to take longs when we came down to the low area of the range and shorts when we come up to the higher area of the range. Now, you might ask yourself, Jason, you had some pretty precise levels. How did you do that? There are other tools we can add on here now, especially when you are scalping on lower time frames. You want to be able to have other tools in your toolbox more than just drawing support and resistance lines with your eye. Okay, this is something I go over very in depth in the course. There's a 25% discount if you're interested. But simply all I did, guys, was use Fibonacci levels and also simply just look at the chart and say, okay, we had a pretty clearly defined high right here in the past, right? Let's go back in time to where I started this whole trading plan, right? We had a pretty clearly defined high right here, once, twice, consolidation, another time. So 4 times, this was a clearly defined high. And then I found that we had a golden pocket and a 786 Fibonacci retracement from that most recent high to the most recent low, saying this is an excellent place to look for a short trade, and that's exactly where we got our resistance from. So again, I'm identifying these key areas in advance, macro levels, local levels, and I'm identifying the key areas where I'm setting alerts and saying, I will only take a trade if price comes to this level, right? This allows us to take emotion out. When price pumps, we don't feel the urge to FOMO into a long because we know that if price keeps pumping, we have areas where we're looking to short. Or if price starts to dump, we're not FOMOing short because we know that we are confident, right? And we have a plan. We've got our hand on our shoulders. We're not going to get liquidated, guys. We've got adult diapers on, dry shield technology, all-day comfort guaranteed, right? And then why looking for a low down here? Simply because this was an area where we had 1, 2, 3 areas of low, and I was simply just looking for the Fibonacci golden pocket retest, right? Now, again, I don't have time within the scope of this video to go into Fibonacci, but I would say it's definitely something you should learn. And if you want to learn technical analysis, I suggest you check out a trading course. It does not have to be my course. Any course, guys, will teach you TA. If you do want to take my course, there's a 25% discount, okay? So we are identifying macro and local levels. That is step number one, and this is very important because what it does is you can tell yourself, I am not going to enter a trade unless price comes to one of my key levels, whether it be a more macro level, right? Because again, remember, we're literally just zooming in and doing the same thing on a lower time frame that we did on a higher time frame. Remember, the higher time frame levels we have on our chart here, and then we're just zooming in and we're noticing, hey, the more I zoom in, this lower time frame looks just like the higher time frame, right? We have clearly defined lows and clearly defined highs. This is a range. A lot of people would call this a bull flag, but this is a very clearly defined range right here where we can look for trades, right? That's always what we want to be looking for on high time frames and low time frames. And once we identify it, then we can identify the areas we will look for trades. Now, once we have the areas, we can tell ourselves, I am looking for a trade here, but I am not going to enter the trade unless I get certain confirmations. Now, for me, and I talk about this often, but my favorite strategy for trading, scalping, day trading, even swing trading, is waiting for price to come to a key level and then looking for divergences on my favorite indicator, market cipher B. Now for me, you can see when I gave this trade set up here, this was the 1 hour time frame, as can be seen up here, and I was looking for bullish divergences on the 1 hour time frame. Now divergences are a very powerful way to enter trades, and if you're newer to trading or if you've been struggling to get into good trades, if you wait for divergences, they give you very high probability trade setups. I know some people hate on divergences, especially for new traders, but you have to understand, guys, this is a layer. Layer 2. Layer 1 is identifying that level, because we've already gone over that if you can identify highs and lows, you know right out of the gate that there's a much higher chance than normal that price is going to go your way, simply because it has come to an area of resistance or support. All right, so now add on to that a divergence at a key level. Well, now you've got yourself something that you can get stoked on. So what exactly is a divergence? Okay, what exactly is a divergence? A divergence is this: when price and momentum are doing the opposite thing. So we're going to come down to the 1 hour time frame, and we're going to take a look at the trade that I entered last week, which was from right down here. Remember, my trade setup that I gave in the VIP Discord was if we come down to this low, I wanted to see bullish divergences. What was the picture I drew on Market Cipher B? I had these two Ben Armstrong BitBoy green dots down here, and then I wanted to come down and make a higher low on Market Cipher B and see that direction as the price was coming down below this first low. We come down here, we can see that as price comes down before that first low, Market Cipher B is doing exactly what we wanted it to see, which is it was getting higher as the price was getting lower, okay? It's just like SBF's man boobs over here, okay? SBF, notice the divergence. His hair is getting higher and higher, and his his hair is getting thicker and thicker, while his boobs are getting thinner and thinner, okay? Hair is getting higher and higher, boobs are getting thinner and thinner. The gynecomastia diminishes as price continues to get thicker and thicker, and just like here, we can see that as price gets thicker and thicker into the red, Sam Bankman-Fried's man boobs over here on Market Cipher B are getting thinner and thinner. We can see the direction getting higher as the price, aka the fro, is getting lower and lower. This is giving us confirmation. And so I can say in advance, I want to know that I am going to see my divergences on the 1 hour time frame and below as price is coming to my key level. And then I can relax, because then if none of these things are happening at my key level, I don't have to take a trade. I can wait for the next one. Do you see how it's taking emotion out? There are multiple things that I have to wait for before I enter a trade. I have to identify the environment. I have to identify key levels where I will look for a trade. And then I have to identify confirmations on the chart that will get me into that trade, right? So I'm not chasing price. And once I'm in a trade, because I've gone through these 3 steps, then I can feel the emotions. I can feel the greed or the excitement or the fear, but I have already had a plan, so the emotions don't have to affect my execution of the trade, right? Now, a lot of people are going to ask, Jason, how do you know what time frame to look for divergences on? Here's what I do, guys. When I am looking for a higher term time frame swing trades, okay, levels that I've identified on, let's say, the daily time frame, then I am using the 1 hour to look for divergences. I'm using the 1 to 4 hour to take trades from these very high term time frame levels. If I am scalping or day trading, okay, because remember, this that I showed you over here, right? This was the 3-minute time frame, okay? I am not going to be looking for 1 hour divergences if I'm scalping and day trading. Then I'm going to be using the 12-minute and below, okay? So it really depends on what time frame you're using. The higher the time frame that you're marking the levels on, the higher the time frame that you want to see your confirmations are. The lower the time frame that you have your levels on, the lower the time frame that you want to see your confirmations on. For complete tutorials on this, check out the course. I'm sorry I keep showing the course, but I can't fit everything into this small video, but I'm trying to pack as much info in here as I can. Now, step number 4, guys, is have an entry and exit plan. And by the way, if you do want to join the VIP Discord, guys, you can go to patreon.com/Jason Casper. This is where we give the levels every single day. We give the confirmations that we're looking for. We give the levels, we give the trade setups. We do multiple live streams every single week. It's a great community if you're looking for education, okay? Patreon.com/Jason Casper. 4th step, guys, have an entry and exit plan, okay? I cannot tell you how many times I let winning trades turn into losing trades, even though I had all 3 steps properly planned out. When it came time to taking profits, I did not take profits, okay? You know, let's say, for example, and this has happened many, many times to me, where, you know, for me, I enter a long trade, I take partial profits, and then that trade gets stopped out. For example, this trade right here, I live streamed it. It was an epic day. I took this short, live streamed it, took this long in one day. It was an epic, epic day. But this was an example of a long trade that was in massive profits and then got stopped out at the entry. Now, if you didn't have a plan to exit that trade, you would have held it. You would have seen your profits going down. You're like, dang, I wish it would go back up. 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 And now you're in drawdown, and then you probably get liquidated, right? You have to have a plan. How are we going to trade our plans? What we are going to do is basically use key levels to give us areas of support and resistance. Now, notice something very important here about the long trade that I mentioned right down here. Look where we come up to, right? Let's go back, see if we can. Sorry, guys, I'm flopping and groping here with the computer. Look at this, right? We get a bounce right up here from this wick, and look at where we come up to. We come up to test this previous low, right? Again, just another key level on the chart. What you should be targeting when you enter your trades is key levels of support and resistance. As you can see here, I've taken a take profit 1 on this higher term time frame trade right here. Okay, I've already realized some profits. Why did I realize profits here? It's because we came up to a clearly defined level, right? Price put in a high, consolidation, consolidation, resistance, 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 resistance. This is a take profit 1. In fact, there's multiple ways to come up with plans, but for me, I took profits from this trade when we came up to test this level right here, because this was a key level where we could see support, support, consolidation. So for me, this was a TP1, this was a TP2. For me, this is going to be my TP3 up here, and then I'm eventually going to hit a 4th TP up in this area, right? If price gets up to there. I already have my exit plan in place so that I know where I'm going to take profits before the trade even happens, which allows me to not get emotional and greedy in the midst of the trade. Yes, I can still feel greed. I can still feel that feeling of I want to make more money on this trade, but because I already have a plan of exiting the trade, I don't have to then hold a winning trade into a losing trade. I can take my profits, guarantee a winning trade, and still feel that excitement and greed and the rush of being in a winning trade to potentially make more money on it. But this is so key, okay? have an entry and an exit plan, right? We have the entry plan. We know that we're looking for our level. We're looking for our confirmations. What is going to be our exit plan? We have to have a plan to take profits, and we also have to have a plan to get out of the trade if it goes wrong. That means we have to have a stop loss in place, abiding by good risk management. If you want to know more about good risk management, you can either check out the course or check out my YouTube channel over here, guys, right here. This video that I made on Friday, #1 trading secret. This changed my life, guys. Check out this video because it does go over risk management and how I actually use risk management to make sure that I am not losing money even if I'm taking losses, okay? Having that entry and exit plan is key. Otherwise, you are going to turn wins into losses, and you are going to take bigger losses than you should, because let's say you had longed down here and price literally just went against you. Do you know where you're going to get out of that trade? Do you have a predetermined plan that says I'm only going to take this much of a loss before I get out of the trade? Because if not, you're going to be holding this trade for a long time, and every little move up on the downtrend, you're going to get hopeful. Before you know it, you're going to be taking a huge loss, and you don't want to have to deal with that, right? So guys, these 4 steps right here, this is how you're going to come up with that plan. And this is how you can approach the charts with a totally blank chart and then come up with these plans. You can do this for multiple assets on multiple time frames, and this will allow you really to just be very relaxed, understanding and knowing that no matter what happens to the price, you have a plan up your sleeve to take action when the moment is right, to take that high probability trade setup. You're not chasing price. Even when you're in the trade and you're feeling those emotions that are just natural for being human, right? The greed, the excitement, the dopamine, you're doing it in a way that is controlled by a well thought out plan in advance, so that you're controlling your risk, you're locking in profits, and you're only taking those trades that you know you should take. That's it for today's video, guys. I do pray that everybody is very blessed in the name of Jesus, the Messiah, Yeshua the Messiah, God in the flesh. I do pray that everybody is blessed in multiple ways and not just financially. Guys, make sure to follow me on Twitter at Jason_Casper. Again, we're going to be doing some awesome giveaways this week. Follow me on Instagram, guys. If you're into more homesteading content, I do talk about trading on here too, but I also talk about health, fitness, diet, homesteading, whole bunch of other random stuff. Follow me on Instagram, jasoncasper.crypto. I have an impersonator out there who has way more followers than me. I don't know how that's possible, but hey, it is what it is. And what else, guys? Yeah, also, so Bybit is having still a promotion. If you use my affiliate link, you can get 0 limit order fees for 30 days. That's actually a good deal. I typically don't show exchanges, but it's a good deal to get 0 limit fees on Bybit if you are into trading on Bybit, right? Don't just trade on Bybit unless you have a well thought out trading plan. All right, guys, I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.